I started actually with piano lessons. When I was age 6, I heard Menotti's Amal and the Night Visitors, and I just fell in love with the music. I was obsessed with the record. I listened to it nonstop. And my uncle visited during that period of time and observed to my parents, she seems to be really obsessed with music. Why doesn't she take piano lessons? So I started with piano at age 6. And then I heard flute played in my church. Karen Klein was my first flute teacher. And my parents were very practical, and they thought, maybe you shouldn't play the flute. There's so many other little girls that play the flute. You might not get into junior regional band. You might get discouraged. So I told them, I said, the point is not to play an instrument, but this one. This is really, this is the instrument I want to play. But it wasn't until I was 15 and I was at the Easter Music Festival at Greensboro, North Carolina, and we played Stravinsky's Rite of Spring that summer, and I was on piccolo on that piece, and it was so unbelievably exciting that I called my parents from the dorm phone in the hallway and said, this is what I have to do for the rest of my life. Going to Curtis was an incredible experience. Taking the audition was really wonderful, just in terms of how challenging it was. My parents were, again, they're extremely practical, and so I auditioned for 10 places for a conservatory, which might have been overkill, but on the other hand, every single audition you take, you gain confidence, and even though you continue to be nervous during these auditions, you have this sense, I can do this under pressure. And Curtis was the last of the 10 auditions, and it was my first choice as a school. I was very excited to be accepted. For whatever reason, really lucked out on the beginning of the lottery wheel that is auditions. I took 4 auditions before I took the BSO audition. I took Principal of Pittsburgh once, Principal of San Antonio twice, Co-Principal of Minnesota, I think. I never got anywhere, so I certainly never expected to get anywhere here at this audition. But at the same time, I really gave it my all, and of course practiced really hard in preparation for this audition. And I played with the orchestra for 3 weeks as part of the end of the audition, which was also just an incredible experience for me. I thought, I have no idea how this is going to turn out, but what an amazing opportunity to play with this unbelievable orchestra. The mix between, or the interplay between the conductor and the orchestra it's chemistry. I remember Bernard Haitink said that once. It's all about chemistry, and he's right. There's a mystery to it and an excitement to what a conductor can bring to the table. I have such great affection and respect for Seiji Ozawa, who gave me my job here, hired me, and it was curious to me because very often in the media he was known as, of course, Berlioz specialist, and doing these pieces that bring big forces together, really big pieces, a lot of personnel on stage. That was kind of what he was known for. But in my job, I accompany a lot. I play for concertos, and not too much was said about Seiji in terms of what he did in concertos, and I think that was really one of his specialties, something that he does, I think, better than anyone. There's a sensitivity to what the soloist is doing, almost this sixth sense for what a soloist is about to do, and how can I make this soloist, comfortable. There's a rhythmic energy to Seiji. There's a sensitivity and a beauty. He was beautiful to watch. Brought a lot of sensitive sounds out of the orchestra. More recently, I love working with Frubeck de Burgos. Very passionate man, very thoughtful. I learn a lot working with him. I love doing Spanish pieces with him, and I love Stéphane Deneuve doing French music. Very warm-hearted, imaginative. Andras Nelson's is very fiery and intriguing, very young, very passionate. I went to the Verdi Requiem this past week, and it was extremely exciting to see Daniel Gatti, just the dignity and the magic and the fire that he brings to a piece like that. I'm very much looking forward to working with him again in the spring. I am a brand new grad student at Gordon Conwell Theological Seminary in South Hamilton on the North Shore. which has been very exciting for me. I also feel that this is a calling just as much as music is a calling. This is a brand new degree. It's a master's degree called Spiritual Formation. A spiritual director is someone who serves as a long-term mentor to someone who wants to explore a relationship with God, deepen a relationship with God. So it's different from therapy, or it's something very different from that. And it tends to be sort of a long-term mentorship rather than short bursts. Let's solve a particular problem. It's sort of a type of hands-off spiritual counseling. There's always been a link between music and faith for me. I mean, I came to love music through that Christmas opera, Amal and the Night Visitors, which is a story of faith. I first heard the flute played in my church. So there is that link. But even now there's a link, of course. Many of your greatest works of music are about faith. Requiem, Masses, Passions. But not only that, I think that people are really drawn to music because people are seeking a sense of beauty, of transcendence, something that just really stops you in your tracks and fills you with awe. That's what music does, and that's also what faith does. I love our section so much. There's so much pride working with them, and also the times when I'm out in the hall and listening to them. It's just this past week we did the Verdi Requiem. I wasn't in the piece, but I enjoyed the concert very much. And there's this gorgeous flute trio in the Agnus Dei, and just the warmth of sound that Elizabeth and Clint and Cindy do together, and just the phrasing together and the blend. It was just really magical. And I heard this past summer the Berlioz Damnation of Faust. I was on the lawn for that. Fantastic and really, really frightening two piccolo part. Both Clint and Cindy sounded incredible. They're all tremendous musicians and really, really fun people to work with. We get along really well.